going to touch on bribery and blackmail and also corruption. And I love how Shanimal is talking about what is natural with horses. And I think somewhere along the way, amongst the 250 years, something went off the rails, and we have this serious problem. It's not often talked about, but as an investigative journalist, I've looked into some of the crime and corruption and what politicians sell out for, and you would be shocked. I mean, I've heard of ethical hackers, penetration testers that I don't know exactly how they did it, but they were telling me, and I'm not going to name names, of course, but that they know politicians that have sold out their country for as low as $8,000.
Exactly.
And so that tells you that intellectually they're not very smart, because other ones have sold up for outwards of, I've heard, millions of dollars. So these are things we need to vet our politicians much better. We need to let them know at a face-to-face level, we know what happens in DC, and we know what they're up against. And we cannot allow them to engage in unethical behavior like that. And there's consequences. Yeah. And we want a herd that stands strong and true, and they know why they're there, and they know who they're working for. So, here in Arizona, it's all about law and order. That's what Sheriff Lamb built up here. That's who he is, and that's what he's taking to DC to clean up the swamp. And if we use those types of leaders, that will be the culture moving forward. And so I'm excited. I'm excited to see what happens next year. I think we're going to all come together, unite around 250 years. Yes. And I suspect a lot of the Democrats are we have to have our white flags, all of us, ready, and we need to come together and unite on common sense and what we want for the future. And I think they're getting these things that they do out of their system. But by July, I think it's going to be time we can all sit down at the table, talk this through, and come up with a better plan, because we need a vision. We need a vision for our country. Whether this country likes it or not, we are a shining city on a hill. So we have to act like it at all times, especially on the international stage. This is super important, and it's important all of our institutions know what's going on and know that they are being watched at all times, and they need to perform and act like it and be ready. Department of State is one of them. They're responsible. They know the temperament around the world, and they have to keep track of human rights violations, things like this going on in other countries, and they cannot afford to give free passes ever. So we need to know what's on their master list, like when they're going to pull back on linking arms with other countries. So, I hope to see some changes institutionally too, for the better. I have a little list that I've been keeping track of. I'm not going to get into it today, but in the future, just a short list of things we can work institutionally, how we can improve services.